Alright, students, so here are a few things that you need to prepare. You need to have containers to mix our ice cream mixture later on. Go get yourself a few, and then also get some packaging boxes or any kind of cardboard will do. This is going to be our ice cream cone. And then of course you're going to need colors. If you don't have colors, you can always use food coloring as well. And then we need water. And after that, we're going to be needing flour and salt. We are going to mix this together to mix our ice cream mixture later on. Essentially what we're going to create today is called Puffy paint. It's going to dry with a bit of thickness and it's going to have some shine to it from the salt. And of course we cannot forget our art block. So go get yourself a piece of art paper. You cannot use normal paper because that's too soft. You really need to use an art block, or you can do it on cardboard as well. That is fine. Oh, and I forgot, you also need a pair of scissors for this. And glue. So to start off with, let's prepare our ice cream cone with the box. I'm going to cut it up first. Essentially, I want to make a triangle. A triangle has 3 sides for our ice cream cone. If you want a different kind of ice cream cone, it's okay, it's up to you. If you don't have this kind of packaging box, you can always opt for cardboard boxes, the brown color one. I actually think cardboard boxes would work nicer because the texture already looks a bit like ice cream cone. So anyway, I'm gonna draw out my shape before I cut because I don't want to make any mistake. So remember, I'm gonna draw it big. I'm gonna make use of that line. Draw a line down and draw another line down, connect it, and we're gonna make a triangle shape just like that, and then we're going to cut it up. Let's put all of that aside. Now I have my cone, but it looks a little bit plain, so I want to add some textures to it. Maybe I want to add some crisscross patterns to it. Maybe some brown. You can use crayons or markers to add textures to your ice cream cone. It's up to you. I'm going to use crayon for today. I will be using a light brown to add a bit of texture to it, to make it a little bit more interesting. If you're using cardboard, which is already brown, I think you can just skip this step. And maybe just use a dark brown to add the crisscross lines later on. And now with my dark brown, I'll just add crisscross lines to make the ice cream cone pattern. I think it looks really crunchy already. I really want to bite this ice cream cone. There, done. Alright, let's stick our ice cream cone down first with some glue. You just need a little bit around the edges. You don't need to put too much glue. Just a little bit. Okay, I think that's enough. Okay, when you stick it down, you want to stick it slightly to the bottom because you want to have a bit more space on top for your ice cream mountain. If you stick it all the way at the top, you won't have much space left for your ice cream. So let's move it down a little bit. Sort of like this at the bottom. There we go. So now let's work on the background. I want my background to be very colorful. You can make any kind of background you want. It can be a birthday party. If it's a birthday party, maybe you want to add some ribbons or balloons flying around. I think I want to have some confettis bursting around like ribbons, paper flakes, something like an explosion of confettis. How I'm starting is just by using simple shapes like rectangles and wavy lines, triangles. You'll see that I'm trying out a lot of different colors as well. I don't really have to do the middle part because I know my ice cream is going to cover it. So I'll just focus on decorating the parts that are outside, that are around the ice cream. I'm going to change the color a bit. And this time I'm gonna add wavy lines. I don't just draw it on, I also thicken it a little bit so that it's thicker and nicer to see. They look like tiny worms, right? Now again, remember to make it thicker so that it's nicer to see. Because I'm actually trying to imitate confettis, which are essentially papers, that's why I want to make it thicker. Alright, I'm gonna try zigzag now, and again thicken it. Oops, I think I just broke my crayon. It's alright. It's okay. Bad things happen, accidents happen. Shall I add a bit more? Alright, I'll just add a bit more. I'll just use yellow to add straight lines to make it look kind of like it's exploding, you know? Explosion of colors, of confettis. Now notice that I've made it very colorful. It's really up to you how you want to decorate it. You don't have to follow how I do mine. You can even draw a human face there trying to eat the ice cream. Or maybe you can draw a mountain of ice cream behind it. Now my background is done. Let's put it aside. We're gonna work on our ice cream mixture, which is again flour, salt, water, and color. Now remember, we need to mix equal parts of each ingredients. For example, if you're using 1 cup of flour, you're going to use 1 cup of salt and 1 cup of water. Now you need to make sure you mix enough for your ice cream. For example, our ice cream is very big, so I have to make sure I have enough mixture for that big ice cream to create a few layers. You might want to ask your mom or dad to help you with this if you're not sure. I'm just going to start by pouring my flour into a container. Make sure your container is big enough. Alright, I think around this much is okay. Now again, because we're doing equal parts, if you have this amount of flour, you got to make sure you mix in the equal part of salt as well. Okay, let's pour it in. Alright, I think that's about the same. Yeah, that's about the same part. I might have poured in too much, but it's okay. Now let's add the water slowly. If it's too dry, just add more water. You can mix it with your chopstick or a spoon, a plastic spoon. Stir it well. Try to make sure all the flour is mixed in. What you're trying to get is the consistency of thick paint. If it's too dry, it'll be a little bit hard to pour in. Try to get rid of all the lumps. Try to mix it as smooth as you can. Give it a really good stir. Now at this point, I kind of realized that my mixture is a bit too wet. So if your mixture is way too wet, you can just add on more flour and more salt.